Lakeland County Fair. I don't know if you signed up or your spouse signed you up, but either way, we're happy that you're volunteering. But there's 10 things that you need to know in order to do this. So we're going to run through these things quickly, and hopefully you'll catch on and be able to do a great job. So the first thing, if you're going to have what it takes to be a tunnel guard, you need to be 18 years old. Are you 18? Great. Bam! All right. Number 2, there's 4 emergency signals that you need to be aware of. If you hear a smoke alarm, be aware that that's the first sign of an emergency. If you hear a whistle blowing, that's the second sign of an emergency. A bullhorn announcement, or the last emergency signal, is the fire alarm pulls that are at each exit to the building. So if you hear a whistle, it's your job to evacuate everybody that comes into your room. If you hear a smoke alarm, evacuate. A bullhorn announcement, evacuate. If you evacuate, the first person to an exit is going to pull that fire alarm pull, and that will automatically call the fire department. So be aware of those 4 things.
Hi, Mom.
Number 3, exit options. Each room that you're going to be guarding is going to have an emergency exit that's marked with a big red sign. There's also knockout emergency exits throughout the tunnel in various places marked with a big red X. Anybody that needs to get out in an emergency can use any of those means. So that's the 2 exit options that you have.
Bam!
Number 4, fire extinguishers. Every room has got a fire extinguisher in it, as well as various fire extinguishers scattered around the room. You need to be aware of what that fire extinguisher looks like and where it is and how to operate it. Each fire extinguisher has a pin here that you pull out, you squeeze, and you point the hose at the base of any fire that you find. That would be after making your whistle emergency signal and evacuating people as quickly as possible. So that's the fire extinguisher. All right, we're getting there. Seriously? Yeah, this is a serious job. So we are wanting you to be able to take this job and the responsibility with it so that we keep everybody as safe as possible. So that means being aware of what's going on in your room, not texting and talking on your telephone. You should be watching and watching for problems and helping people out and interacting with the people. So take it seriously. Number 6, one-way. Every tunnel in this whole arrangement that we've made is a one-way tunnel. That means that you can't turn around and go backwards. At all the openings in your room, you'll see arrows. That means the kids can only go in that direction. Once they've gone in through an opening, they cannot turn around and come back. They're all one-way tunnels. That keeps the traffic flowing. Okay, number 7. Leaving. There's always an emergency exit in your room, and if anybody feels the need to leave, they can always leave through that emergency exit, but nobody can come back in through that. They're not designed for people to go out and back and forth. If there's an emergency, no problem. If they're uncomfortable, no problem. So, if they want to leave, they can, but they can't come back in through that opening. Very good. Number 8. Part of your job is to keep the kids settled down. So there should be no running and racing through the tunnels. There should be no pushing and roughhousing. So if you see that behavior, it's your job to kind of settle the kids down, get them back on track. If there's at a point where you can't get them settled down, then you need to escort them out through the emergency exit. Oh. Okay, number 9, food and drink. Sometimes we've had kids come in with a can of pop or a bag of popcorn, and you can imagine that that is not good for a cardboard tunnel. So we have signs at the entrance that say no food or drink, but if you see someone in the room with food or drink, then they have to leave that room and come back in without it. So that's part of your job, is to keep that out of there. Nice. Lastly, remember to have fun and interact with the kids. The kids are having a blast, and you can sit there like a bump on a log, or you can talk to them and interact with them and kind of help them enjoy the experience. So that's up to you, but make it a great time and you'll all have more fun. And so, if you can remember these 10 things, you've got what it takes to be a tunnel guard, just like my friend right here. Very good. Thank you, have fun, and have a safe trip through the tunnel.